All right, let's jump right in. We're going to unpack this really fascinating and, let's be honest, kind of paradoxical phrase, Sophia's avant-garde. I mean, it sounds like a total contradiction, right? But that contradiction, that's actually the whole point.
So this really gets to the heart of what we're exploring today. We're talking about two worlds colliding. One is rooted in this idea of timeless truth, and the other is all about constant disruptive change. So what happens when these two forces smash together? Let's find out. Okay, so first things first, let's just look at the phrase itself. It's a real head-scratcher, and that's totally on purpose. It's designed to make you stop and really think about it. At first glance, Sophia's avant-garde it doesn't seem to make any sense, does it? But that's the thing. This is a classic postmodern play. You take two completely different ideas, crash them into each other, and in that collision, you actually break down their old meanings to create something brand new and really powerful. All right, so to really get this, we've got to take it apart. Let's start with the first piece of the puzzle, Sophia. What are we really talking about when we use that word?
Well, Sophia is literally the Greek word for wisdom. And you got to understand, this isn't just some random word. It is packed with thousands of years of history, from philosophy to theology, and it's always pointing to something big, something permanent and profound.
For centuries, Sophia meant a very specific type of wisdom. You know, for guys like Plato, it was the ultimate goal, the big prize, finding those universal truths that never ever change. In Christian theology, it's even personified as holy wisdom, a single divine concept. So what's the vibe here? Tradition, stability, universal truth. It's like a North Star, a fixed point that doesn't move. Okay, so that's Sophia. Now let's flip the script and look at the other half of this phrase, the part that comes in to shake everything up, the avant-garde. So avant-garde, it's a French military term, and it literally means advance guard. Picture this. These were the soldiers, the scouts, sent out way ahead of the main army. They were the ones taking all the risk, pushing into territory no one had ever seen before. And that backstory is so important, because that's what it's all about. Risk, experimentation, and, breaking away from the pack. So this military term eventually jumps from the battlefield right into the art world. In the 19th century, it starts describing art that was all about breaking the rules. And for a while, in the modern era, people saw this as progress, right? Like we're all marching in a straight line toward a newer, better truth. But then the postmodern era comes along, and the term gets used to question that very idea. Like, hey, wait a minute, is there really just one single path forward? So you see the split, right? If Sophia is all about stability and tradition, the avant-garde is its total opposite. We're talking disruption, subversion, novelty, constant change. Its whole identity is built on rejecting whatever is considered the established order. All right, so we have our two warring ideas. Now let's smash them back together. Because this is where things get really interesting. This is where the magic happens, right in that collision. And wow, when you put them side by side like this, the conflict is just crystal clear, isn't it? You've got Sophia over here, stability, tradition, universal truth, and then you've got the avant-garde, disruption, novelty, constant change. I mean, they're just fundamentally different ways of looking at the entire world. So why on earth would you jam these two together? Well, the goal is to blow up what's called a grand narrative. That's that old idea that all of history is just moving in a nice, neat, straight line towards some single, final, ultimate truth. This phrase basically shouts, nope, there is no finish line. So what's the result of this mashup? This is the really crucial part. It says there's no single path to truth. Instead, it embraces that things are fragmented and messy. And it uses irony to completely flip the script on both words. All of a sudden, ancient, stable Sophia becomes this rebellious, dynamic force. And the avant-garde isn't just about new for the sake of new anymore. It gets this deep philosophical weight to it. And this collision gives us this really powerful new idea. Wisdom isn't some trophy you win and then just put on a shelf. It's not a destination at all. Instead, it's a process. An active, ongoing, kind of risky process of always questioning and always pushing the limits. So where does all this leave us? What's the big takeaway here? Well, it all builds up to a completely new, dynamic definition of wisdom. One that, honestly, feels a lot more fitting for the world we live in today. And it gives us this incredible concept, the wisdom of becoming. Think about that. It's a vision of wisdom that is never finished. It's never complete. It's not about a state of knowing you arrive at. It's all about the continuous process of evolving. It is 100% about the journey, not the arrival.
This totally reframes wisdom from something you have to something you actively do. From this point of view, real wisdom is actually found in the mess, in the uncertainty, in that constant process of questioning everything and pushing forward into the unknown. It's about always being part of that avant-garde. Which, leaves us with one last big question to chew on. In a world like ours, a world that is just defined by nonstop, relentless change and disruption, maybe this wisdom of becoming, this constant cycle of learning and unlearning and evolving, maybe that's the only kind of wisdom that truly makes sense anymore.